Very well, mate. Very well.
Welcome to the show. Thanks so much for being here.
It's good to be back, mate.
Whenever you're on the show, I'm aware that you're very popular. People on the staff get excited. The fans are happy. The crowds are happy. Would you say that there's a lot of love for Wolverine? Do you think Wolverine is a... Because I get the sense that he's probably the most popular of the X-Men characters. People love Wolverine.
He's the most popular character in the history of movies. No. He's... He is. I do get a lot of love.
That's going to be quoted
sometimes,
now. Yeah.
Sometimes the love is a little frightening because the fans, right, you know, they've been following this comic for 40 years, some of them. And I remember in New York going down to this place called Bubby's restaurant downtown. Vinny is the owner there, or the maitre d'. And so the waiter I had was like, oh, you've got to talk to Vinny. He's a big Wolverine fan. I look over and Vinny like ducks under the, you know, like the little counter there. And so I waited and I said, send him over. So he comes over and he's shaking, sweating. I said, oh, you're a Wolverine fan? He goes, a Wolverine fan? And he just took off his shirt, turned around. He had a full-colour tattoo of me, right? Well, of Wolverine on his back. Not me, yeah. Let's be clear.
You were on the shoulder.
Let's be clear.
It said Hugh Jackman, and there was you, and then it said, as Wolverine, and then...
So we started posing down. I figured, you know, he's gone to all that trouble, so we took all these photos.
I don't think there's no level of fan excitement probably that could exceed having you tattooed on their body. That's got to be a compliment, but
there's
also...
There's got to be someone with a Conan tattoo around, right? Is there anyone?
Yeah, they're all here. It's actually... That's how we weed out who gets into the audience. There's a line of several 100,000, and then these are all Conan tattoos.
No, I've met several. So look, the fans have been fantastic to Wolverine, to the franchise. So I don't want to say a bad word because honestly they would break me in half if I pissed them off.
No one would mess with Wolverine. Yeah. I'm curious. It does seem when you watch the films, it does seem like there's a good connection. There's a good chemistry. In other words, chemistry is overused, but it does seem like you and the other people in the cast. You click, is that right?
It was the first movie I did in America, right? So I've done 3 of them now, and you know, we do actually get on really well. It's not easy to get along with Halle Berry, Rebecca Romaine, Famke Janssen, but we put a lot of work into it.
You despise being with those women.
I remember one day on the set. There's a scene in X-Men 2 where my character runs out, and I'm actually naked. So get the DVD. No, but I am naked. And I remember I was wearing like a little underwear, and the director said...
That's how they do it, right? They put you in underwear, and then they light it, so it looks like you're naked.
Well, the lighting was all from behind, and Brian said, look, the only thing we can see is the underwear. Could you just whip off the thing? So I went along with this, right? So I take off the undies, and I'm just naked, and I think, what the hell? So I run down. He said,
you're comfortable with your naked body. That's not what I say when they tell me to, like, we need you naked for this segment. I wrap myself in gauze and I leave,
Most days of any film, I say, can I just take it off?
Can I be nude? Yeah.
So I run down. Anyway, it was all a setup, of course, because I run down, and the scene as I'm running out, it's when he first discovers...
As Wolverine,
it's the first moment he has the claws and he's been operated on. It's his origin, right? So I'm running down, and I see these claws, there's blood all over me, I'm freaking out, and then I turn around the corner, there are 30 women from the set with $5 notes in their hands. Problematic.
That's great. That's great.
What's your first reaction? Is like, oh, except I've got claws on.
No. No, that's not good.
It sounds like a story that I would tell on Conan, but it's actually true. And I have a little scar from where I punctured myself.
You're lucky you punctured yourself.
Long, right?
Yeah, exactly. You're lucky you were down there. Good Lord, that's horrifying. All right, we're going to take a little break. I'm going to get that image out of my head, and when we come back, more with Hugh Jackman, so stick around. So I'm sitting here with Hugh Jackman. Now, every now and then, one of the nice things about being in show business I found is every now and then I get to work with someone that was an idol of mine. When I did the Emmys recently, I got to work with Bob Newhart, and I was so excited because I grew up, you know, being a huge fan of his, and then you get to work with him.
That was a great skit.
But one thing I was curious about is you had a similar experience. You got to work with David Bowie, and he was one of your rock idols. Is that right?
Since I was one of the first... In fact, I think the first album I ever had was Changes. So it was a huge... And he was working in The Prestige, which I did, and... he came on set, and it was not just me, the entire crew, very jaded LA crew, they were like, oh my God, it's Bowie, and ask him to sing. I'm like, I'm not asking him to sing. Anyway, everyone was on edge, and I actually became, I thought, really good friends with him, and I sat down in between take, and after 2 days, he's a very nice guy. I shared a story with him that the first concert I was ever going to go to was a Bowie concert. And I bought a ticket for $20 in 1981 when he came to Australia. And $20 for me was like 6 months worth of pocket money. It was everything. And I went to school that day. First time I was allowed at a concert, so excited. And this senior at my school said, mate, I'll give you $50 for that Bowie ticket. And at this point in the story, Bowie was kind of like glazing over a little bit. And I'm thinking, I wish I hadn't told this story, because all of a sudden he was like, yeah, well, what did you do? And I said, well, I sold it.
It's a $30 profit. That's a lot of money,
And I thought we were mates, but he kind of didn't talk to me much after that point. And funnily enough, I live here in New York, and he is my neighbour. He literally lives on the floor below me, and I ran into him at the elevator, and I walk in, he goes, ah, the scalper. I should have told him that story.
Yeah, not a good idea. Then you said, I actually taped one of your concerts and sold the... I made a lot of money. Now, am I right? We've all done things, you know, earlier in our careers that we had to do to make some pocket money.
You can't talk about the porn.
No. Well, we'll get to that later.
Right.
Oh,
sorry.
You were great, by the way. But you were a clown.
Oh, the clown, yes.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. I would rather admit to being in a porno than being a clown.
I was a clown at kids' parties, and
I was a clown in a porno once, but that's later. But you were a clown that entertained at children's parties?
Yes, at mainly 3-, 4-, 5-year-old parties, because if you ever want some extra money, 3-year-old, 4-year-old parties are easy. You just put the wig on, dance around, they're happy. And basically, the clown, I don't know if it's like the same here, but in Australia, you are just hired in order to keep the kids company while all the adults drink. Right. So they just want to know the kids are over there for an hour. So I graduated to a 6-year-old birthday party. I said, yeah, how hard can it be? And about 10 minutes in, I really didn't know much. I knew how to juggle. I did this thing with eggs. I smashed eggs. And about 10 minutes in, this kid stands up and goes, Mummy, this clown is crap. And I was like, with my red nose, kid, shut up, sit down. He goes, Mom, this is terrible. And all the parents are like, oh, no, we've got a crap clown, all right, you know. And so I just, as I said, I did this thing with eggs, and I pulled out the dozen eggs that I had in my bag there of not many tricks. And I said, well, kid, do you want to just throw some eggs at me? And they were like, yeah, cool. So I just ran around the garden while they threw eggs at me.
It worked.
And all the parents are like, oh, he's all right.
He's all right. That guy's good.
He's good.
I know that guy. Let's talk about The Fountain. This is the movie that's out currently, and this is an interesting movie. Rachel Weisz was here the other day, and we were talking about it. It's got an interesting storyline because you essentially play the same characters, but over a long period of time, really.
About 1,000 years.
1,000 years. Yeah. And because of the nature of the role, you had to go through a lot of physical transformations. You had to look very different in different parts of the movie.
We kind of shot 3 movies in one, and even though I'm the same character, the idea is you follow this love story through 3 different time periods. It's a little trippy, but when you see it, you'll get it. But at one point, I'm a Spanish conquistador. Another point, in present day, I'm a neuroscientist. And then I'm 500 years in the future, floating through space in this spaceship. And for that, I had to shave my head, in fact, shave my entire body. I'm not sure why, director said, do it, and I did it.
You could always ask...
clothes off, sure.
Yeah, sure. We're finding out that you'll just do pretty much anything.
Yeah, basically.
Throw eggs at me. Oh, shave my body, sure.
You got it. And then someone said, I'll pay you for it, and I was like, oh, this is perfect.
Great.
But anyway...
Did you like having the shaved head?
I've got to tell you, everyone in their life should shave their head and take a shower. It is the best feeling honestly, the best feeling in the world.
I'm going to go do that right now.
It really...
Shave your head and take a shower because it feels good, I guess, right?
Yeah, it looks ridiculous. I looked ridiculous. I mean, I used to be called P-head at school, right? And I thought that was a little unfair until I saw myself in this movie. And I was like, yeah, that's a good point, P-head.
What's P-head because...
small head,
small
right?
head, yeah.
And a fairly big body. Now, in Hollywood, traditionally, movie stars are meant to have small bodies and big heads.
I have a massive piñata head and then like a dried Slim Jim body that trails off of it.
movie star.
Yeah, I should get into movies.
But
Yeah.
I see in a movie.
Yeah.
But I see myself in the fountain, and I'm sure you'll probably play a clip. Anyway, if I look like something out of Lord of the Rings. I actually look absolutely ridiculous, but I felt great having a shower.
All right, well, we have, I think it's all worth it for that 4-minute shower.
And
we
the
have
Brazilian. I got it to Brazil. I'm kidding. I didn't
Oh, my God. I've seen the porno. You can't get anything by me. The clown with the Brazilian. We have a clip here for Settle Down. It's Thanksgiving Day after. We have a clip here from the fountain, and I believe this is an earlier time period.
This is the first time period of the movie where I'm a Spanish conquistador, and I've been sent out by the Queen, also played by Rachel Weisz, to find the Tree of Life, which they believed that the Mexicans had, the Tree of Life that's in the Bible. And so at this point, the odds are definitely stacked against me.
Yes, you can tell. Let's take a look at this clip from the fountain.
Still. Retreat! No! Do not stop! No! Through her salvation, and through her command, we shall live forever. I will not die. Not here. Not now.
That's such a quintessential movie scene, you know what I mean? Like a period piece like that. And be a conquistador, that's very cool.
And hairy.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. The fountain.
Hairy, not hairy.
The fountain, yeah, either way. The Fountain is in theaters right now. Go check it out. And, you know, always a pleasure talking to you. Hugh Jackman, thanks so much. Good to have you here. Tiki Barber is coming up. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. Stick around.